Hello everyone, welcome to Introverse Entertainment. My name is Marcelo, and today we're going to work with one of the tools that made me choose OpenArt. Of course, as a creative partner, and also as an affiliate, I want to share what the most fundamental qualities are for choosing the platform. And one of them is the character creator. And today I'm going to share version 2.0. It's well known that we all need consistency. We can achieve image consistency, but we also need to achieve consistency over time for these indivisible units of our original story, which are the characters. So let's go to the computer to what I have already prepared. What do we need to have before using Character 2.0? The images that we are going to use for this small model of the character, which today works in different models, and that's the new thing too. The concept behind the new Character 2.0 is impressive. Here I have one of the characters from VIKI SPELLS. I have Rosita. I have already iterated the character just how I wanted. So I have the character from the front, okay. I have the character closer, also from the front, closer from the front. It's very important to have a headshot, a very close-up of the face to see all the details. I have a 3/4 left, I have a 3/4 right, I also have a 3/4 zoom from one side and the other of the head, and a back view. It's vital that for the character, to have it well built and designed, we have the largest number of consistent views of the character. And for that, in this studio, we chose Nano Banana Pro for now. Of course, this is constantly evolving. A new version is about to be released. We chose Nano Banana Pro, and we iterated within what is the Omni reference structure. Although there are tools here where we can do, for example, the camera angle change control, I choose to do my work completely inside the image creator with Nano Banana Pro. Okay, so I already have the images. I'm going to build a character. Now, if I build a character in OpenArt with this tool, I'm going to create a character in two main ways, starting with a description or starting with an image. Starting with a description means writing and building the images little by little, choosing the model with which we want to build that character, the style, and based on the model, I will have different costs. If I use Nano Banana Pro, each image I create with this prompt will cost $140, and it's not really one image, it makes 4 images at a time. In other words, this cost is because since we need multiple images to make a decision, it makes 4. And based on those 4, with some differences, we can choose. What I'm showing here is what I did using that tool. It gave me these 4 images, and then with those 4 images, I iterated in the next step. The next step with that image is to choose one. It will create 4 more. And with those 4, I can build my character, which is what I did, and you'll see that here is a character that we'll see later if I use it or not. But I created it exclusively to understand this process of creating with a description. Now, in starting with an image, to begin with an image, we start here. We can choose to upload. Because we already have the image downloaded, we made it somewhere else, or we want to base it on a person for whom we have real photos. But in this case, I'm going to use it from the history. And since I already have everything, what I'm going to do is choose the first image, which is this one. Okay, so that it creates the rest of the images, I'm going to choose this one. Okay, I can upload additional ones. So I'm going to upload additional ones because I already have them. I'm going to upload this front head shot. I'm going to upload this half profile from this side, which I like a lot. And I'm going to upload this one from the back. And I'm going to click confirm. So I'm going to build my character. I'm going to use 100 credits to build it. And we're going to go straight to that. But once that process starts, we can go and get a coffee. I can grab my mate. I'll have a little mate, okay? And I wait for the process to move forward. Be patient. With everything that is generative, you have to be patient. Because what we achieve in seconds, we would never achieve in hours. So relax, learn that patience is your friend, discipline is your friend. Let's be extremely patient with the machine. Well, the images are finished here, and what's good about what just happened is that this is an error that is sometimes common, even though I gave it the characters back for some reason. It still sometimes has some errors in the interpretation of what is the front and what is the back. Okay? So the first thing we're going to do is this one turned out correct. This one turned out correct. This one didn't turn out so correct. And this one turned out completely incorrect. So what I'm going to do is regenerate. I'm going to pay 25 credits until I find the image that I need. But also notice that here I have a button that says upload or history. I'm going to go to history. And so now I'm happy with the character. So with that, we can move on to the next step. I'm going to click Looks Yet, and I'm going to move forward to create the character. I'm going to give this character a name. This girl, her name is Rosita Escudero, and she's Julia's cousin. As you can see, the character's ready. We have it ready to use. I'm going to create an image with the character. It appears here, and a new feature is that we can now add 4 characters if we want, and it works great. I'm only going to add 1. I'm going to add this new character I have here. And I'm going to write that they are both walking in an ancient garden, near a temple in a Celtic forest. I'm going to change it from 2 to just 1 image, and we're going to create this to see what comes out. I set the output size to classic in 2K, but now I'm going to choose, that's the automatic model. I did it with the automatic model, okay. But what I'm going to do is choose Nano Banana Pro now. I'm going to set it to 4K, and I'm going to change the output size to widescreen, and I'm going to generate the image to see what comes out as well. An important detail. While the images are still being generated. An image has already been created here. I came in and had the Auto Enhance, which is a system to improve the prompt, turned on. In my experience, I recommend turning it off. So if you come in and this is on, I recommend turning it off. Mainly when we're using contextual models, and we want them to follow our prompt and not add things that we don't want. In fact, although the image that was made, the image is good, it's a good image, a good representation of character 1 and character 2. Look at the quality it has. The consistency it has is phenomenal. And then what I did was specifically choose the model, the output, and of course what it also did here was work with the enhance. I don't want it to work with the enhance because, I repeat, although it makes few mistakes, the enhance isn't bad. Somehow there are times when strange things come out because we have that activated. Nano Banana Pro is excellent for understanding very direct and simple things, and you don't need to tell it a lot of things. Just telling it a little is enough. And notice that without telling it much, very direct, here we have an image with the 2 characters in the same scene, and there's no problem. I could now choose to put them in other situations, and I'll be able to do them together over and over again. And if I want to add another character, I can add another character. Put Gabriel, for example. Say he's in the back watching at the temple entrance. And then with these characters, I create an image again. This new 2.0 tolerates adding several characters. And that also, depending on the type of model we choose to create the image, there are functional differences. I also want to add, and it's worth mentioning while the image is being generated, to speak to the person watching this video and tell you, you always have to be very patient. Whether you're working with analog, traditional digital, or AI-assisted digital with generative AI on platforms like this or any other platform, you have to arm yourselves with patience, please. Don't try to get things right on the first attempt. It doesn't work that way. In the course, we'll see that patience, discipline, in other words, our kung fu, our best kung fu will be patience, okay? Let's remember that the word kung fu isn't the martial art itself. The martial art is wushu, right? Kung fu is a way of describing a relationship with the thing. So this has to be our kung fu. We have to be patient. This is vital. So let's go back and see what it gave us. And what happened is this. Awesome. We have our 2 characters in the foreground. I'm actually a little surprised at how well it works. Does it have errors? It has some errors. They're minimal, they're iterable, meaning I can later use the chat to edit, or I can add any kind of information in the prompt to make it better. My recommendation is to use Nano Banana Pro to get the best results. It's a bit more expensive, quite a bit more expensive actually. Sidrum 4.5 works pretty well, but personally, I've gotten my best results with Nano Banana Pro. With this, I've shown you a few things we have here, right? I showed you how to prepare the previous image base, how to create the character, either with text or with images, and what the strategic advantages of working within this framework. There's a lot more information to explore. This is like an introduction and a push for you to use Character 2.0, the character creator from OpenArt, which, in my opinion, is the best on the market in terms of multi-character consistency. Obviously, you can use Nano Banana Pro to do everything related to consistency composition. But since I've used it a lot, there's a problem, which is that you reach a point where you start spending a lot of money trying to get what you want. And with this 2.0 model, everything works much more simply, okay? It's not perfect, but it's much faster. And compared to the others from any other platform that I've used, this one, and that's why I'm here, this is the one that has best solved the mess of having multiple characters in a scene and creating my list of characters. And for me, this really solved that problem of character visualization. So a big hug to all of you. I hope this information has been useful, and I'll see you in the next video, which will surely be, as I said, the extended course on original independent fiction design with assistance from artificial intelligence and with the implementation of mixed media. We're going to cover everything. We'll see how we go from analog to digital, how from digital we move on to making it with generative tools, and how we turn it into a coherent structure to assemble a teaser trailer video for our product.